the care and management of type 1 diabetes has evolved tremendously since the time that I was diagnosed. It was 1978, and I was 4 years old when I was diagnosed. Fall and spring tend to be those times where it really peaks, and I had that same experience. It was just after Halloween and right before Thanksgiving. At that time, we had just a very limited amount or number of different types of insulin. When I was diagnosed, we were using pork insulin, and we were testing sugar in the urine rather than in the bloodstream or in the, now with continuous glucose monitoring, the subcutaneous space. So it was really very limited in terms of how we were able to manage it. I initially took 2 shots of 2 different types of insulin per day. And I really felt like, looking back, the approach was, we're going to give a lot of insulin at one time, and then you have to kind of keep up with it throughout the day by eating. Whereas today, we give insulin to try to match what we're going to eat. So it's a much more physiologic approach. Rather than feeding the insulin, we're using the insulin to cover what we choose to eat. In terms of the monitoring of diabetes, I think that's been a tremendous not only improvement, but just an evolution of the way we did it. Initially, when I was diagnosed, we had this little chemistry kit. You would collect a urine sample and then mix that with a tablet that created a little bubbling experiment, and then you'd hold it up to a chart. And we did that several times a day, but it really didn't tell us very much information, because the sugar that's in the urine really can be there over a number of hours, where if you're testing sugar in the blood or in the subcutaneous space, in the interstitial fluid, you're getting an immediate assessment of what the value is at that moment. And so you can make much more informed decisions. The delivery of insulin has changed tremendously. I was on a couple of shots a day of insulins that really didn't match up well with the foods that we were eating. One was sort of not, it didn't last long enough, and the other one didn't have an onset that was quick enough and lasted a little bit too long. Now we have insulins that are very, very rapid in terms of their onset, and so you can give insulin and have it match up with what you're eating. I use an insulin pump that delivers insulin and adjusts in real time based upon blood glucose trends without me having to do as much work as I used to do. And that's been something that's changed even over the last couple of years. So we're seeing, we saw a slow evolution over the last 30 years, and then a really rapid evolution over the last 10 years in terms of delivery and monitoring.